Agreed. Greetings and salutations. The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
I wanted to ask if you're free after school today.
Yeah, I'm free every day. It's in the Constitution.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here.
That's Frenchy.
Because she's just going to leave halfway through.
She's just going to pop up here and there. She's come back for her chemistry degree.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you some words of support. And then
Yes.
Yeah.
Words of support.
She's
and then
going
she's
to
out
come
of here.
through to move the story along just a little bit.
Just to make a couple connections that didn't make sense before.
She's not going to sing for you. She's not singing for you this time.
No. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our newest patron, Abby. Thank you for joining our Patreon, Abby. If you want to join our Patreon, patreon.com/Doom Generation.
You can.
You could do that.
You could do
You're
that at
allowed.
any time.
We'll allow it.
Yeah.
So, controversially,
Apparently. We had said before, we'd mentioned this before, and you were like, that's not a controversial take. Well, apparently
it is. That Grease 2, we've never covered Grease. If you see this title and go, well, where's the first Grease?
There isn't one.
Didn't cover that.
it doesn't deserve it.
We'll cover it enough. I have some notes.
Yeah.
I have some comparison
We're not
notes.
going to
cover it
ignore
enough.
it.
And
you can't
so
ignore it.
Tessa believes.
I believe.
Tell us what you believe.
I
Tessa.
believe that Grease 2 is a better movie.
Now, I don't have a strong opinion because I barely saw this movie two days
nights
ago. So I don't have any nostalgia for this.
Right.
So, whereas I do have nostalgia for Grease. Whereas I'm not going to die on a hill of how much I love Grease because that's not my favorite movie.
I don't hate Grease.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all. I love Grease. I really do love Grease. In fact, one time at a sock hop at my high school, I hand jived so hard that my thighs were bruised. Yeah, all the things, but I had slapped my thighs so hard, they were bruised.
So
I had
you
like
do
big
love Grease.
hickeys. I do, but I like Grease 2 more.
And I was actually Sandy.
Kim was Sandy
You
and
were
what?
Sandy in the
Like in
Grease?
high school? Nice.
Wow. See, now I've never done Grease.
No,
I
didn't
never
do theater.
done
And I
Grease.
still prefer Grease too.
You still, and so Kim prefers Grease 2. Tessa prefers Grease 2. I'm going to say I prefer Grease because that's
Right.
my only,
And that's
that's what I
acceptable.
grew
That's
up
fine.
with. But I'm not going to hate on Grease 2 while I
No.
will have some questions.
Oh, there's absolutely
And
questions.
I may argue a little about whether it merits being called a superior film. But it's not because I'm so in love with the original Grease that I'm like,
Right.
no, it could never surpass John Travolta.
Oh, I know.
I mean, John Travolta.
Well,
I
the
mean,
best part-
Danny. Or no,
Sandy.
Sandy. It was Danny
Yeah.
saying Sandy.
Yes.
That's how he says his own name. My name's Danny.
The best part of that movie for me, though, is Cha-Cha de Gregorio.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that means anything, but the best part of Grease to me is Cha-Cha de Gregorio.
And she does not make an appearance here. But speaking of, let's get into the cast. And there are some, if you've never seen Grease 2,
Right.
we do have some original cast members.
Yes. There's a couple. Well, it's mostly just
Mostly
Didi Conn
faculty and
the faculty. But before we get into them, we have Michelle Pfeiffer.
who I think, I don't even have to say I think, who is the star and
Right.
steals the show in this movie.
She totally does. And I guess that there was other people that were considered, but they liked her because she had a quirkiness you don't expect.
I just, again, I'm going to have questions about why she seems out of time.
She seems out of time. I agree with you there because that's the thing that I always thought about, that she seems like she's a time traveler.
I
She's
would
like,
want to see her in an 80s musical.
Yes.
Give me an
'Cause it's
80s Rydell High
1982.
in real life,
So
right?
like it's one of those things where like I kind of thought maybe it could be, but it's not,
No.
because she seems like she's from the 80s.
Yeah, she seems like her wardrobe person didn't get the note that it was 1961.
No. They were like, oh, okay,
Just-
it's 1982.
They
so this is
styled
what we're
her
doing,
hair
right?
and
Yeah.
did all her outfits like it was
Like
the early
she kind
80s.
of whatever, but it seemed like the 50s diner that you would go to in the 80s.
Right.
Like
When it
that's
was retro.
what she seemed like when it was retro and it was like a throwback thing. Like that's
Totally.
what she seems like. Everybody else seems okay. But her, she stands out. It's weird.
And then Maxwell Caufield, a.k.a. Rex Manning.
Right. And he hates this also. I guess we forgot to mention
he's
that
not
Michelle
as-
Pfeiffer's not stoked.
Oh, yeah. And she
About
is not
being
stoked
in
about this. But he's so cardboard. He's
He's
just
not
like
either, yeah.
he's just a
Didn't like him.
pretty
Oh, well,
face.
they didn't like each other.
Yeah, he's just a pretty face. He offers
like,
nothing
he's
really
good
in
looking.
charisma, though.
No,
you know what I
he's
mean?
kind of. What did I see? Somebody said that he was the least promising newcomer since Pia Zadora.
Oh, poor Pia.
Ouch! The disrespect. He said it took him like 10 years.
That's just
to
what he
get
tells
over doing
himself.
this. I'm
because
sure, because
everybody
it's
saw
not
this
like-
and went, "Oh, you're not a
He's
great actor."
just pretty. If you want to get that ass out or something, like I don't know what you're gonna have to do.
Well, and I'm sorry, Michelle Pfeiffer didn't have no trouble getting work.
No, she
So
didn't seem
don't
to
blame
have a
Grease
problem.
too, Maxwell.
No, she didn't seem to have a problem. I mean, I don't know what else. What's his tits? Fucking Adrian Zmed.
Oh,
Went
yeah,
on
he
to
did
do
all
Silk
kinds of
Stockings.
stuff.
It was fine. He played Danny Zuko on Broadway.
T.J. Hooker.
T.J. Hooker. He went on to do all kinds of great things. Lorna Luft is fucking Judy Garland's baby.
That's all you need to be.
That's all you need
That's
to be
Paulette.
in this world. Paulette Rebchuk.
And then, and Adrian Zmed is Johnny
Johnny
Nagarelli.
Nagarelli.
These names.
We forgot to mention Stephanie is Stephanie Zanoni
Zanoni. And I didn't put Michael's last
Stephanie.
name either.
Carrington.
Oh, okay.
Michael Carrington, which I guess he went on to be on, what is it, Dynasty? Is that the
Oh.
one that had the Carringtons?
Oh.
And he was on that show? And
Was he?
I don't know if he was a Carrington.
He totally
but-
has soap opera face.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
probably was great there.
Yeah. He
was
would fit
probably
right
like-
in.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be a good.
It's like an overly tanned doctor with a gold chain or
Ooh,
something. You know what
that
I mean?
likes to like race cars.
He's like, he looks a little bit like Rex Manning, but he's got a
little
white
bit.
coat.
He's got like a pinky ring.
Ooh, he's like the Matt Berry character from Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Yes, that's
Okay.
him.
Yeah. I bet you that would be like he'd slide in there.
Totally, but serious, like where he doesn't know it's a joke.
Right.
Yeah,
Like he'd take his glasses off all like when
Uh-huh.
he does diagnoses.
and he'd have a pun.
He like grabs the bridge of his nose like
Yeah. Who do you have next? I don't want to forget any. You probably have more
Maureen
people than I do.
Teefy.
Lori Teefy.
Maureen.
Oh, Maureen.
Teefy as Sharon.
Okay.
Alison Price as Rhonda, who is the director's daughter.
Okay.
Pamela Adlon.
Of course,
As
Pamela
Pamela
Adlon,
Siegel.
aka Siegel.
As
And
Dolores
we just did.
Rebchuk. Yeah, we
Is
did.
it coming? It might be out, or it's coming out really soon after we do this. It might be out already. We just did Millie Willie.
Yes.
With,
Or Willy Millie.
Willy
Something
Millie.
special. I was a teenage boy.
With the Cult-worthy podcast. So if you haven't heard that yet, that was a fun conversation.
Pamela Siegel.
About a movie I grew up with, but Tessa and Antonio had never heard of.
Never seen, never heard
and
of.
it was an adventure.
That was a journey. And I was like, oh yeah, she's coming up again because we're doing Grease
Yep.
too.
This is like Baby. This is her
This
debut.
is her debut. This is also Michelle Pfeiffer's major
Right.
film debut. I wonder if she got Scarface off of this. When was Scarface?
Scarface was 80.
Yeah, it has to be after,
83?
year after. So
like the
maybe.
year after she might have
Maybe.
gotten Elvira. Elvira.
I have Christopher McDonald.
Yes.
AKA Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin is in this shit as
Goose.
Goose. Leif Green as Davy.
Didi Conn as Frenchy again.
Eve Arden as Miss McGee.
Sid Caesar's there again as Coach Calhoun.
Dodie Goodman as Blanche.
Tab Hunter as Mr. Stewart.
Oh, Tab Hunter.
What a guy.
I know. Connie Stevens as Miss Mason.
I don't have anybody else.
Oh, I have Dick Patterson as Mr. Spears. Eddie Deason as Eugene, which I meant to look up. That man's been a problem.
That guy's been in a bunch
And I
of
meant
shit,
to
and
look
you
up
said he was a
some
problem.
shit. Like there's like a weird thing with his mother. I don't want to get sued because he seems like he's litigious.
Right. He looks like
But
he
like
would
he's
be.
he's like fucking wild. He's like crazy.
Oh, weird.
And I also have Dennis Stewart as Balmudo. Balmudo.
Oh, yeah. The
crisp.
well done, Kevin Bacon. Overcooked Kevin Bacon.
crisp.
Who is the same bad guy
Yes,
as like he was
in the
hassling
first
high
one.
school kids as an adult 2 years
know.
ago.
He's still
Now he's even older. Still
Older than
cruising by the
before.
fucking high school
Yep,
trying to start
harass
shit.
the kids.
He's
at the high
clearly
school.
45 if he's
Oh
a day.
my god! All of these, whatever gang.
Oh,
that is,
but
like,
the high school kids are 29. So
well, they're like pushing 30. So
Yeah.
the
So the bully
Balmudo
has to be
gang is,
40.
like in their 40s.
he's been coming around. Or what did I say? He was like the reverse Wooderson.
Yes.
Instead of coming around to try to be cool and bang high school girls,
No.
he's just coming around to
Like
like start
fight high
shit.
school students.
I'm still the toughest kid at this school.
Wow.
Even if I'm 40.
You graduated 8 years
Right?
ago.
Get
Balmudo.
outta here.
I forget
So
what his name was in Greece. Do you remember?
it was the same.
It was.
I looked it
Balmudo.
up, and I
thought-
think it was also. But they
I
didn't
thought he
call
just
him.
called him by his first
I
name.
think they didn't call him by the last name, but now
Balmudo.
when you look it up, it just says that
It says
name
that,
as a
'cause
character.
That's like the connection.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's the first day of school, and we open with
gotta go back, back to school.
we're gonna have a lot of
again.
solo singing from
I know.
Tessa this time around.
Whoa! I gotta go. It's like the whole everybody.
And you said this
everybody
is who
comes
the
out-
Four Tops?
Yeah, that's what it
Singing
said.
this?
But I also feel like I read a thing where it was like there was a preview or a commercial or something that had a preview of the movie, and it was a different version of this song, which I didn't go back and look up and listen to. But this one with the whole school comes out with this dance number.
And you sort of get introduced to the characters in a way, or like you
see
still
'em 'cause
have
the-
pink ladies
The
and
pink
T-birds
ladies
and
show
whatever.
up in that pink Studebaker.
Which is Rizzo's fucking Studebaker, right? Is that not the same car Rizzo
I would
drove in Greece?
imagine.
Because
Like,
I
is
watched
it
Greece
just like-
right after this, and I swear she's driving a
is
pink
that like
Studebaker.
is it like a shop car?
Is it the pink lady's
it's
car?
The pink lady's car. Well, because I also feel like, and we'll talk about it more later, perhaps, but that Miss McGee is like the original.
Oh, you
pink
said
lady.
that she might be the original.
I feel like she started this shit. Maybe Coach Calhoun had something to do with it,
He
but
was
I'm
a
not
T-bird.
sure. I'm not sure. Maybe the original T-Bird is dead because Miss McGee is.
And I'm going to make my first point for Grease right here. But I'm sorry, watching it right after Grease is the Word is such an iconic song, and it's over an animated opening.
I know the animated
Double
opening.
points for animated
The
opening.
animated opening does edge out the gigantic dance number, but you also know how much I love a gigantic dance number.
Well, and like I said, for me, or for people who aren't necessarily super into musicals,
yeah.
Grease gives you a minute before
Sure.
we start the musical dance
Sure.
numbers. It's like, no, it's just a song. It's just the
Right,
opening
right.
credit song. It's not a musical.
Right,
It's
right.
just a movie. And look, these
It's
kids
like
are
putting
in
your
high
toe
school.
in.
It takes until what did I say? Summer Lovin'?
Yeah, because
Is the first song, and that you see them on the beach, and then you see them at school.
Right,
you know,
right, right.
there's a few minutes where this is right off the bat, where
Sure.
the whole school is in the shit, man.
Sure. Like I guess they have a whole conversation, and at this time, like they have a whole conversation before they start singing
Right.
about their summer, and this is just we're singing about the new year. We're not even talking about the fucking summer, and I'm confused as to how come Stephanie don't get picked up in the car.
I'm like, why is the leader of this gang taking the bus?
Is she not the leader?
She don't own the pink Studebaker.
Right? She didn't get the keys.
This
She works at
motherfucking
a fucking
Catwoman, you guys. She don't get
Right?
to drive.
She works at a fucking gas station repair
She knows how to
shop.
drive clearly.
She do. She did her own fucking stunts.
Yeah.
She did her own fucking stunts in
She
Batman
did.
Returns.
We'll get to when she's doing her own stunts.
Oh,
'cause
well,
there's
yeah,
impressive.
no, I know, but that's
I'll
fucking
give-
impressive.
Stunt wise,
Well,
there wasn't a lot of stunts going on in Greece that I remember.
I mean, the driving.
A little bit, but
The
like
driving?
I'm gonna give this one it wins out on that.
Well, and
for
just
sure.
on that one. Just
Oh,
on
yes,
that one
just on
thing,
that one
that's it.
stunt, but that's
it.
enough.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
enough.
That's all you need.
But yeah, so she gets off the bus and all the other girls roll up in the pink Studebaker.
Right. And the pink ladies pledge to act cool, to look cool, and to be cool.
And then we meet the T-Birds.
They
and,
roll up, and everybody's stumbling into school.
And Lil Michael gets off the bus and meets up with Frenchy.
Sure.
And she lets you know that this is Sandy's cousin. And
Yeah,
kind
any
of that's
cousin
it.
Of Sandy is a cousin of mine. You assume that he's staying with Sandy's folks.
Never
and that
says
she did not die,
specifically.
or did
Right.
she?
Don't know
no
what
one really
happened
talks
to Sandy
about her.
because if her parents still live here, I guess she went off to college because it's been 2 years. So she's
Right.
married to fucking Danny with 3 kids already.
Oh my God, she's already miserable somewhere.
She's fucking
She's on a boat at sea.
But yeah, because so that's really the only connection, or which it didn't even need to really have a connection.
Not
he could have
really,
just
he
been the
comes
new
from-
kid at school.
He comes from England,
And she came from Australia.
I mean, like, I suppose it's possible, but why are all of the
But why? Yeah, why is everyone in this
Why is
family
this
coming
family
to Rydell High?
coming to
Is it that good?
America?
They're all into music, I guess.
Like, we
I want to
heard
go
about
to that
this
high school where
musical
everybody
school-
sings randomly.
This musical school in America, Rydell High. That's
Yeah,
where I want to
that's
go.
where I wanna go.
Sure, but yeah, so he gets off the bus. Frenchy fills us in on all of the shit. And I guess also, like I told you, that Johnny for a second was supposed to be Danny's cousin, but it was like too many cousins.
They're like, you know what?
They're like, we can't.
That's unnecessary.
That's
It's
too
an
many
unnecessary
cousins.
amount of cousins.
I almost feel, well,
And I really feel like 2 years was not a long enough time later to set the sequel.
No. They should have done it in like the 80s or
Or,
like
yeah.
even the 70s.
Anything to change, like where it's not the same outfits and the same, like,
Yeah.
this. I don't know. Like, I feel like, because the music, well, the music style's not the same.
No, it really
Because really, the
isn't.
music's a little more 80s, even though it's
Kind
set in
of.
the 60s.
Yeah, like that's what it gives me. It's like the
And the Grease music is
60s
definitively
throwback of
50s.
the, yeah, it's
music.
like the 80s throwback to the 60s.
Right.
It's like what the 80s felt like what the 60s would have been.
Right. So you see, oh yeah, when they were singing Back to School at the end, when it was like getting soft, and it was like, I'm gonna want to go back. I'm gonna go back. I heard, fuck this school. I swear to God, I was looking at the screen and I swear one of these kids was singing fuck this school.
It's
I saw
possible.
his mouth and I was like, wait a minute.
I saw his mouth.
Did he just say fuck this school?
He
I
might
fucking
have.
swear he did.
He might have being cute out there,
Right?
In the company.
Because there's so many teenagers out there.
Right.
Well, who knows if any of them were
it's
teenagers.
it's a huge undertaking. None of them were teenagers.
Yes.
It's a huge fucking undertaking to get this many people to all dance together.
Oh, I'm sure.
And to hear things correctly and to do all of the choreography. And then that kid jumps through the window. Again. Back to school.
Oh, and you find out that Stephanie broke up with Johnny.
Oh, yeah. What's the story, Stephanie? Yes, Stephanie. What's the story?
Don't make a scene.
Come on. She's like, what? And Paulette, I'm sorry, girl. Relax. Somebody hose her off. Because she's like not
Seriously,
even as
she's not
bald,
even
naked.
waiting.
Like, well, come on, Johnny. Maybe it's better if you guys broke up. Like, that
You clearly want
I
some
know.
of this.
she gets to drive the car. Or no, she's not driving the car. Who's
I
driving
feel
the car?
like they were
Rhonda?
taking turns because at some point Michelle Pfeiffer does actually get in the driver's seat, and I have a note, I think, because it's random after her not even being in the car the whole movie. Then suddenly
that
she
she gets to
drives
drive
the
the
car, and I'm
car.
like, so maybe it is just a communal pink ladies car.
Well, I would just assume that it was like passed down because the jackets.
And they take turns with it or
Probably.
something. Stephanie lives on the wrong side of the tracks.
She probably does. She's like the
all those
trashiest
kids
pink
live
lady
on the
there
wrong
ever
side of the
was.
tracks. Weren't they all supposed to be kind of not
don't
trashy,
know.
but none of them were supposed to be rich kids.
But maybe she's on the outs from the Pink Ladies because remember there's the whole thing like you had to be.
Oh,
dating
maybe because
over
she broke up
to
with
be a
Johnny.
Pink Lady.
She didn't seem
Maybe,
like
but,
she was
like,
on the
she-
outs with them, though. They
No,
didn't
she
seem
doesn't
to
seem
be.
like she was. And it
But
was
that
just
the
because.
keyword rule.
When she doesn't have to be dating a T-bird, she just can only date a T-bird.
Right,
Which
if
also,
she's
where did
dating
that rule
anybody.
come from?
Well,
that
I
wasn't
don't-
in the original Grease. Sandra didn't have to be a pink lady to date Danny. I don't
Right,
think.
because like school was over. Did she just not get to be? She just had to get sewn into those pants. That's a point for Grease.
them pants.
Them pants, though, when she had to get sewn into those pants, though.
Those
so
were
that's
amazing.
A point for Grease. That's
Those
a
were
point for
amazing.
Grease.
So yes, we get what do we have? Where am I at?
I don't know.
Oh, the teacher with the tremor. Was that Mr. Spears?
Oh yes, Mr. Spears.
About having a breakdown on day one of school.
He's not ready.
And
He's
Frenchy
not
and
ready.
chemistry, day one, doing unsupervised chemical experiments. 5 minutes experiments. 5 minutes into class.
Right. Oh well, before
over
that
there
they were
exploding
talking about
shit.
Sharon's new look as Jackie O. Is this where they're at the lockers and they're doing the whole?
Oh, and the T-birds are hassling Michael right after that.
right. He gets the T-bird locker on accident, and
Right.
inside is the license plate from Grease Lightning.
Oh, I didn't notice
the-
that. So it's like they honor their elders in this locker.
I guess so. Well, that's what makes you feel like it's it's generational. It only happens inside this high school. I feel
Yeah.
like you don't continue, unlike Bermudo, you don't continue to do T-bird
Maybe he's
shit.
the one who sets it up. He just needs a rival gang, so he perpetuates
like,
the cycle
high
of the
school
T-birds and
students
pink
that
ladies.
he gets beat up on.
Yep. He's like, I need somebody to be my rivals, and grown adults have jobs. So
Everybody else is working. and
he's
no one
just
else
like
there's no one else I can
cultivating
fight with.
teenagers to be his
That's
enemy.
a twist.
Yep.
That's a twist. I could get behind that because he's way too old to be doing this. He's way too old to be doing this.
Like, shouldn't you be getting laid or something, buddy?
Or
Or have a
something.
job?
Like, are you
or
not
what do
because
you-
of that face? I feel like that would work for you.
He seemed to make it work with what's her name in the first one. He had the
Yeah.
hottest chick on the block.
With the worst reputation.
Okay, marching band practice. Blah blah
Oh,
blah.
yeah.
Oh, and here's Michael getting hassled by the Doublemint twins.
The Seagal twins. Also another
Katie
Seagal.
Seagal's little sisters.
Yeah, I forget. I don't know what their names are, but yeah, the
don't
Doublemint
either.
twins. That's what they were also. And they were like, "Oh, we heard you could
play the piano.
play the piano, so you have to do rehearsal." So they just started school. They're going back to school. They have already announced the talent show,
Right?
which happens at the end of the year. So they rehearse. No
All
wonder
year
that show
long?
was so good.
Because all year long, I never once in all of school was there a talent show that was announced
No.
day one of high school.
Yeah, and like at the very, very end, right before the luau, at the end of school, you're doing this talent show. No wonder.
Yeah,
No
they all
wonder.
had plenty of time to practice.
They really did.
Jean and Liz are the Seagal twins.
Jean and Liz Seagal.
Jean and Liz Seagal.
Seagal's sister.
Yeah. So Frenchy breaks down for Michael the T-Bird and
Oh.
Pink Ladies rules because he's eyeballing Stephanie.
He's like, "What do
already.
you know about that Stephanie Zanoni?"
And she tells him about how you have to be a T-Bird. And
Yeah,
he's
let
like,
me break it down for you, which you are not. I wouldn't even look.
And then this is where, so I looked it up, and this is the ex-members of the Scorpions reformed into a gang called the Cycle Lords, which it never
couldn't
says,
see
I
what
don't
the-
think.
It said something
on
on the
the
back
jacket?
of the jackets, and I could not see
Because I had
what
to look
said.
it up to see if they were still called the Scorpions.
The
And no, but they're
Cycle
supposed to be
Lords.
members of the Scorpions.
Oh, okay.
Reformed
So
to become a motorcycle gang.
Well, because now they're not driving no more. Well, they're driving, but they're not driving.
Well, yeah, and there's
cars,
no
like-
reference to that. So the whole part of Grease was Grease Lightning and the car races and whatever, and now it's motorcycles.
Is this post? Oh shit! What was that
Malone?
movie? No, Post Malone. Was this? What was that movie called with Marlon Brando? The What Are You Rebelling Against? With the Wild Ones? Is that what it was called? What do you got?
Yeah.
I think it was called The Wild Ones. Was this before or after The Wild Ones? It would have
know.
been after. But this would have also been after Rebel Without a Cause.
Trying to do it and was in the 50s when the movie came.
Oh, maybe.
The Wild Ones was 54.
Okay.
So that
So
was
it would
way
have been
before.
61.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been after. So they could have been emulating. Well, because there's a lot of leather men. There's a lot of leather men. No sleeves, bulging leather crotches.
and Rebel was 55.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they rustle them up
feel
at the
like they-
field or whatever. They come to the high school and like
Yeah, the fucking adults come
Yeah.
driving onto the track.
I don't know.
With, like,
they don't even,
adults
and
there.
it's not even really racing. They don't do racing.
No,
in
they're
this.
just intimidating
Yeah.
the high school students.
We're just better at riding our motorcycles than you children,
right
Because we've been doing it for
Kids are.
20 years,
right because I've
We
had
a
my
bike
license
for 2 months. I wonder why we're better than you bitches.
You just switched to motorcycles.
Yeah. So now we're at the bowling alley,
We bowl.
and Lil Pam Adlon with her pigtails.
I know.
And now Johnny's with Paulette.
Oh yeah, like he tells her to wear something special tonight. She wears those gold pants.
And then Stephanie in her red shirt. So right off the bat,
I know she's not
head of
matching
the Pink Ladies.
and she has the nerve to ask Paulette whose team she's on. Bitch, whose team are you
right,
on?
whose team are you on? Right, no red team.
I'm
Black
the
versus
red
pink.
team.
We got leather
Right?
jackets versus pink.
T-birds
Come on.
versus pink ladies. What are you?
And then this song. I'm
Oh.
your kingpin, honey. What is it? That's all I wrote down.
Let's bowl tonight. And then he
bowl,
does that
let's
like
bowl, let's rock
and
and roll. I remember that part.
We're gonna score. And like fucking is this when Johnny does that?
I can't remember. He did like the highest pitch at some point. This might have been it. And then Michael's walking through the bowling alley reading his etiquette booklet.
I know. What like he?
What
shows
about what you've seen in this high school makes you think etiquette is your fucking problem? You're
Yeah,
an English lad.
right? He's trying to get like fancy a match.
Are you doing that so you can do the opposite of what the etiquette book says?
They're
Because
bikers.
yeah. Like they're like fucking rocking out in the bowling alley,
They're
walking
having
down the
fucking
lanes
dance
and
number.
shit.
Are you seeing
Yes.
what's going on in there? They're not bowling, kind of.
No, a
but
little
they're
bit.
also having a big dance number with like people are getting spun around in the air, spotting their turns all hard. Like it's a fucking thing. Like Goose would not be able to just walk down the fucking aisle. They don't even grease the
they
lanes
would kick
anymore.
his ass. Oh, that too. He would slip.
Well, they
and
don't
slide
even grease
down
the lanes no more because they know everybody's coming to
these kids
dance
are
on the
dancing.
fucking lanes on this night.
And we get to Stephanie telling Johnny that she's an independent girl and she can kiss the next guy that walks through the door.
Yeah, anybody. And she's like, yeah, be my guest.
'Cause
It's
it's
like
like
some
some old
old
man.
dude. And then Michael comes in.
And she gives him a big old smooch.
Oh, shit.
And then they all ditch everybody, and like Lil Pam Adlon has to pay for
Yeah,
everybody's
she's got
bowling.
to
she's
clean
like
up
12.
and pay.
She's like 13.
Well,
and she
because
has
she
to pick up all the
volunteered to be the
shoes.
mascot. She volunteered to do all this shit
all
just
right,
so she could
all
like
right.
hang out. But it's like getting late because, excuse me, Johnny was
And this
like,
is Paulette's little sister, by the way.
yes. She tells
There's a reason. She's not just a 13-year-old hanging out with a bunch of high
No,
schoolers.
she's Paulette's little sister. She wants to be a pink lady. She's too little. And they call her Upchuck or Woodchuck, but she prefers Dolores, okay?
Dolores.
Dolores, go home!
And then Michael walks this child home on her skateboard.
He was like, well, I'll walk you home. She's like, no, I don't need anybody to babysit me. He's like, well, think of it as a date.
Come on,
I
Michael.
mean, whatever.
I mean, I know
everybody
they
knows
didn't
it's
do
not a
anything,
date.
but
like, he
still.
didn't try to finger her once they went around the block.
Oh, taking it too far.
Well, come on. It didn't happen.
That's true. The next day at school, they've got a sub, Mr. Stewart.
Oh, yes. He comes in trying to find his way, and here come Miss Mason.
Oh, yeah. The cleavage.
And he's like,
the
I
cleavage
love
teacher.
your hair.
I know. He's not interested, ma'am.
No, not in real life.
He shows no interest through this whole thing, really.
But yeah, he
And is this where everybody leaves when he introduces himself
he's
as
the
a
sub,
substitute?
and
the
everyone's
whole
like,
class
"Oh, I'm
just
going out
leaves?
for a smoke." Everybody's out of here.
We were never quite that brazen. We definitely gave a sub a hard time, but we never just all as a class left when they said you have a sub today.
like you just. Well, because these are all adults and they can come and go as
right?
they
They're like,
please,
what?
so
I'm not a
it's fine.
child.
I'm 29.
I've been in the war already. I'm coming back to finish school at 23.
I was in the war.
Now the T-Birds are looking at the flyer for the talent show.
We
They're
gotta
gonna
win.
And I'm sorry, the T-Birds would enter the talent show. Like
I
if they
don't
were
know.
really a motorcycle gang in high school.
Well, because they want to win all those records.
Oh, you
That's
win
the
records.
thing. The prize
Okay.
is winning a bunch of records. It's like getting a bunch of CDs for a
Gotcha.
penny. It's
Just
like the
join
same
Columbia
thing.
House, guys.
I know. I don't know what you're doing. It had to have been available then, but like for 45s,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I guess they want to, but they have to win this talent show. So they go.
That's where the principal catches them in the hall smoking,
Yes.
and Johnny does the. How many movies is this in? I swear to
it's been
God,
in so many.
is that a video list?
Oh,
All
how
the
many
movies where
times-
somebody
every time
does
that-
the
yes.
cigarette thing in the mouth.
Put it down. Cigarette
it
in the
down.
mouth. Cigarette bend or what
But
do you
yeah,
even
to
call
hide
it?
the cigarette, he like flips it backwards in his mouth, lit,
And like chokes on all
and
of
is
the
not
smoke.
breathing because if he
No.
breathed out at all, it would be coming out of his nose.
Miss Mickey is like, somebody was riding motorcycles across the lawn, and I know that you have more respect for grass than that.
For grass. And then, of course, he does it. She doesn't catch him, and then his buddy smacks him on the
Goose
back, and he
smacks him and
fucking
chokes on it,
swallows
like,
his
oh,
burnt
water,
cigarette.
water.
And then the Doublemint twins and Michael are on stage practicing for the talent show. He plays the piano for them.
Oh, Brad.
And that's when he asks Stephanie if she's free later.
I'm free every night. It's in the Constitution.
All right, I'll give that line the credit it's due.
It's so weird.
was pretty
She's
funny.
so weird.
She is
Whatever they said
Yeah.
about her having a weird, quirky quality, it's true.
well because she's
it's-
kind of the Danny almost in this,
A
more
little
so
bit.
than Johnny is.
And he's like,
I don't know who Johnny's Rizzo. I don't know.
Johnny is over the top.
I don't know
Johnny
who
is
Johnny
over the top. Could you imagine that they wanted Tom Cruise for this, but they wanted someone taller and they got Adrian
2
Zmed?
inches.
2? Oh, I suspect it's more like 4.
That Tom is lying. TC is lying about his height.
He just hides it by running everywhere.
All I know is that back in the
catch him.
late 90s, I had an internet friend who was an accountant for Paramount. And it was like when they were doing one of the first Mission Impossibles or something like that. And so he met everybody just because he signed the checks. Like he
Right.
gave out everybody their paychecks. And he said that Tom Cruise was the nicest guy. He bought
Yeah.
everybody lunch every day.
Oh, I bet.
But that he was a miniature man.
I'm sure.
He was
And
just
you know
like,
what?
he is
I
so
100%
small.
believe that shit where he's like probably really like
He's
nice
also probably
to
really
everybody.
weird. He probably
Oh, yeah.
sacrifices babies or something.
Underneath all of that.
I didn't say that. And who are we talking about? I don't even know. I never would say such a thing.
Xenu, do not come here.
Xenu, we denounce you. Do not come for us.
We denounce you.
But yeah, so Adrian Zmed is 5'8", so we'll just say
Right, which is, he just seems small because he's standing next to Goose.
because Christopher McDonald
He's
is
like
6'3",
6'3".
there was no need to hire a guy that because the other two guys were just a little bit bigger than him.
And I wonder if Christopher
McDonald.
I'm gonna make something out of that. Christopher McDonald. I wonder how he feels about this because I know he hates the whole Shooter McGavin thing.
He's got to be embracing it though, because aren't they doing a thing now? Aren't they doing a Happy Gilmore on Netflix?
Oh,
and isn't he coming back?
I don't know.
I think I heard he was.
Well, I mean, a check's a check.
That's what I'm saying. You get. I feel like there's an age as an actor where you hit that plateau where you go, oh, I'm better than all of these things that I did. But then one of those things becomes like a cult classic, and you gotta just embrace it.
Well, I mean, I also can imagine getting sick of that shit when people are coming up to you like,
if
anytime
everybody,
you leave the
is a
fucking house.
shooter. It's like,
Right.
but hey,
I
they
ate pieces of
recognize you,
shit for
motherfucker.
breakfast. Yeah.
Nobody looks at me and says shit in public.
I know. Like, I would probably just like, because you know,
no,
me,
I
I'm
would.
not, I'm never
yeah,
gonna,
neither
like,
one of us is
I'm
going
not-
to
and
assault
I'm certainly
anybody
not going to tell
verbally
him
in public.
that I eat pieces of shit. Like, no, so like I'm going to go up there and be like, "Hey, Shooter McGavin." Like, I wouldn't do
Right.
it. I'd think it in my mind.
But yeah, I don't think you should ever, unless you like, I don't know. I don't even know why I would be ashamed of something like this. If you did anything that has any fan base whatsoever
Right,
that
that
people
like people that
enjoyed,
love
why
it.
would you? Which we'll get into at the end.
Right,
Don't let me forget
how
to get into the argument
passionate-
about how passionate people are for Grease
passion.
too.
It burns.
If
hot.
people love it, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
I
Even
know.
if only this many people, even if fucking, and it's way more than 5, but even if
Well-
only like 5 people in the world loved it, but they loved it more than anything they ever fucking loved in their life, then it's
Then
worthwhile.
embrace it. Love that.
Don't be ashamed.
But I mean, I also get it. Like, it was a job you did. It, like, this is your job. And
Right.
you don't belong to any of these things. You're all kinds of things and you do all kinds of different shit. And I'm sure this isn't at the top of your fucking list
Of
of your
course not.
performances.
But still, I mean, you got to have some love for the
it
first
had to have
things
been
you did
fun.
because it's a premiere for her and stuff.
this
Like, you'd
is
think
why
she'd
I
have a
feel-
soft spot for it just for
know.
that alone.
I feel like, what is it? Like that whole thing with like Lawrence Fishburne and how he's not upset and embraces like Cowboy Curtis. Like,
Oh,
even
he
with
should,
all
yeah.
with all of the things that he's done, I feel like I've heard that he doesn't
I
get
hope
like
so.
embarrassed.
Yeah, why would you?
Because that's where
People
he started,
love Cowboy
and that's
Curtis.
what gave him his. Well, no, that's not like where he started, but that's
But yeah, that's like one of the things. And because, I mean, if kids
and it's
love
beloved.
yes.
It's beloved.
So Christopher McDonald
Yeah.
said that Sandler showed him the script for Happy Gilmore too. So
Oh, so yeah,
Oh, so
he is trying to
in it?
get Christopher McDonald in
Okay.
on Happy Gilmore
Okay.
too. So
I mean, I'm here
if he's
for
talking
it.
about it and not going, do not speak to me,
Yeah,
Adam
don't even
Sandler, then I'm
fucking ask me
assuming
about
he's
that
definitely
shit.
considering it.
Yeah,
he
okay.
did say that would be awesome.
He said that would be
Oh,
awesome. So
all
yeah, I
right.
think maybe
Well,
for a
good.
while, probably for I'm going to say 5 years after that movie came out, he probably got really burnt out of
I'm
hearing
sure.
that shit all
I'm
the
sure
time.
it gets annoying. I do.
Also, Sandler fans saying it to him too.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I can't even
Dudes
imagine
dressed
all
like
these
Adam
people
Sandler.
in Timberlands and fucking basketball shorts coming up to you constantly.
You eat
like,
pieces
"Hey,
of shit for breakfast.
I might go lay
Bro.
down by the bay. I just may.
I know who you are. So anyway, back to her. So we left off on her. I'm free every day. It's the Constitution,
Yeah.
which is how we got into all this. Right. And he asked her out for a hamburger, and she's busy. What about
Right.
tomorrow? I'm busy.
I'm busy. She's busy
So-
until the end of time.
This is the last part we're going to do before we go to commercial, because here we go. We're going to get into.
Do you really want to know what I want in a guy?
I want to be winter steel, and I want Crow Dickerson to ride me off into the sky.
So tell me that fucking part where he dies, but not really, and there's that all white motorcycle scene.
Oh, yeah.
Is that not Winter Steel?
I feel like that right away when she started singing this song, I heard a few things. I heard Meatloaf. Mm-hmm. I heard I Want to Be Winter Steel.
Yes. And
I also heard, because they say one of the things what people who love Grease 2 will say is this is a more feminist film than Grease 1 because she's an independent woman, blah, blah, blah. Why is this whole song about the kind of dude she wants?
I know.
And all she needs to know is that he rides a motorcycle.
That's it. That's all she needs.
She had a dude. Right? Isn't she want to ride the motorcycle?
That's what she should get a motorcycle.
She wants to be if this song was I want to be a cool rider, I want to be a cool rider. And fuck the boys, because like she has this whole thing about how she doesn't want to be with
she doesn't want to be someone's
I don't want to be
chick.
someone's chick, but this whole song is about wanting to be the cool
she
rider's
wants to be
chick.
an old lady.
She wants to be an old
wants
lady,
to
but she
ride on
had
the
a
back
cool rider.
Right? I mean, he wasn't that cool.
Well, he was the coolest rider at Rydell
coolest
High.
rider that
He was
she
the
wants-
leader of the T-Birds.
She wants this. She can get with Bermudo. She deflects.
That too.
I mean, he's pretty cool, except for
she's all you're crispy bacon. I got to find another. No, I'm.
You know what though? That I don't
See,
know.
but there's something about
it.
yeah.
About it. I don't know
If
what
he's
it
a
is.
bad
It's
enough
gross.
boy,
oh, if he's bad enough,
he can
and
get
he
it.
is because he's picking on high school students. Yeah,
for some reason.
I know.
But and now I don't. The tune of this song, I love it. I will now. It will be stuck in my head forever.
I have my Cool Rider shirt on.
You do. We need to make sure to get a picture of that. But yeah, and this was one of those ones where I learned that new word.
Oh yes,
Which I already forgot again. Diagenic.
diegetic.
So apparently in musicals, some music is diegetic and some music is non-diegetic, which means like it doesn't. People aren't hearing it, and it's not integral to the plot, and it's like not moving the story along. And so this was one of the first ones, I think, or I don't know. I think even the opening one they said that too, where this person's like kind of scientifically, critically broke this down and said the fact that she's talking to him, she's telling him this is a song to him,
but then
hears,
he like takes off
then he
and
just
leaves
disappears.
her to her musical number,
and she does this great ladder choreography, and this is all awesome. But then you realize, no, she's not imagining. Everyone at school is around her, and they can all see her, but they're not paying any attention.
And like no one can see this shit as she like flaps off, and then
And
Michael
he's
comes
still right
back.
there.
Like, were you
He's
watching?
still watching her.
I know. She's like, her hands are hot. Her hands are hot. Her
That's
hands
like a
are wet.
weird. What do you call
She
that?
just watched-
Wet jazz hands.
Wet jazz hands. Her hands. She just washed her hands, and there's no paper towels.
And so yeah, and then he's just right there, and apparently, what's his name was also right there because he pops out of the shadows to ask him,
Sure.
"Can I pay you to write me an essay?"
I didn't even know they was in trouble.
What did he say?
The fall of the Roman Empire.
An essay about the fall of the Roman Empire. I didn't even know they were in trouble. And this is where Michael decides that with the money he gets from selling essays, he's going to buy himself a motorcycle.
It's got to be a motorcycle then. And he's like, yeah, you could do that.
And before we find out if he gets that motorcycle and becomes the cool rider, I'm going to take a quick break.
He will.
Hey, you guys.
Guess what?
We got another new discount for you.
Ooh, we're making friends all the time. And this time,
It's art. You got to get over to Roctopusjones_art on Instagram.
do it right now. Roctopus Jones.
We got super cool prints from this dude. We posted them up on our Instagram. We got cartoon Beetlejuice and Lydia. We got an Audrey too from Little Shop of Horrors. He does all manner of crap that you're
all
going to
the
love.
things you like.
It's all very colorful, very stylized and cool. And if you name drop us when you DM him to order, you get 10% off.
Super secret speakeasy style. You got to slide in those DMs for it, baby.
So Roctopus, ROCKTAPUS Jones, JONES_art on Instagram, or go check. I'll be reposting and linking in my stories and whatever. So go check them out.
Get there now.
And we're back.
We are back, and now he has decided to do this homework for Louis Demucci. And Louis Demucci apparently has this Declaration of Independence ass script.
This fucking, like, he's from the fall of Rome.
I know. Was he like, is he a scribe?
Because at first I just thought this is his,
Right,
this
that
is
he
Michael's
was-
penmanship, and you're about to bust Demucci.
Right.
Like
no
there's
one's
clearly
gonna
this
believe
kid
that
don't
he
write
fucking
like
did
this.
it. But then when he does it for everybody else,
He
because we
writes like
find
them.
out, I should have opened that before we started.
little background noise for you. But yeah, so he lives in a nuclear fallout shelter.
He's sleeping down there, or he's at least working down there, because you never see
any
the aunt and
adult
uncle
that
he's
is the parent of
staying
this
with.
child or whatever.
No, his guardians. You never. He killed them.
Or something.
They're dead too.
And then so he gets another essay and another essay.
Everyone's got a rep to protect.
So don't you tell nobody.
Right.
Even though everybody knows they're buying essays off of Michael.
Sure, like there's no way that anybody knows. But yeah, he's doing different penmanship
For each kid.
But then Johnny compliments him on his penmanship.
and isn't
so,
he
like,
the one he did like terrible and like
No, that was
splashed ink?
Goose.
Oh, that was Goose. Okay. Nice penmanship.
nice penmanship?
Now it's health class.
Mr. Stewart is leading the class on reproduction. So let's sing a sexy song about it.
And so does she come in, the girl teacher, because
Miss
you
Mason
had to
help
have
out?
Was that a thing? Like you had to have a male and a female present during
Maybe.
sex ed or something
Like
at
they
a
had to
co-ed
have-
class?
Which my kid just did the
Oh, you said that he came home all stunned.
face. And I think he was just playing it up though. But they actually do both now.
Oh, they put the boys and girls together now?
I don't know if they put them together, but they watch.
Both puberty
things,
videos?
Yes. I'm not entirely sure they put them together. I was like, so what was it like? And he was like,
His eyes just got wide.
he's like, there was hair. I go, yeah.
Oh, everywhere.
He's like, well, it started out like hygiene. And I was like, okay.
Good.
You know, whatever. And he was like, and then they talked about the period. I was
Oh,
like, well, you already know
no.
about that. He was like, well, yeah, but then they had hair too.
He's like, what did you think?
I was like, duh. Everybody gets it. Come on now. But yeah, his face was funny.
But
I made him
technically,
watch this.
Was this song not originally like? I mean, the class was about flower reproduction.
Yeah,
right?
like I don't know what they were
it
talking. Like,
really
was it a
swerved
lead-in?
hard into sex talk from
because he
plants.
talks about like conceiving. When is the best time? Like at night.
But then he starts talking about flowers.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, why did you even start
When
with
they get their lusty
conception?
dust onto the stigma.
Yeah, so we get the song Reproduction.
Put your pollen tube to work. Reproduction.
And the class goes wild.
Go berserk.
And these are all like almost, and this was something else that was in that article about how almost nobody singing in this song is one of the main characters, because Michael sits it out. He like barely, he dances a little bit.
No, but
and
Goose
Stephanie
is
kind of
singing.
doesn't. Well, but
Stephanie's
Goose isn't
not
technically
singing.
a main
Paulette's
character.
Singing. Johnny's singing.
Oh, Johnny was singing. Okay, so yeah, but for some reason, Stephanie and Michael kind of
No,
like
they don't.
They're
They
just
sit
in
it
the
out.
background.
Yeah.
And
They're not trying to do it.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're not trying to do it.
trying to have a sexual occasion.
And then what is the line where the student asks the teacher about if he has the honor to use a condom when he fucks a
that's
lady
right.
or
Yeah.
something like that?
A gentleman for sexual occasions.
So yeah, so we have that, and that's another one of the big numbers.
Yes, I love everybody all dancing, and Goose is doing the little pollen thing. He's making little sperm movements, getting in there and pollinating everybody.
Oh my.
I love it.
Cut to Michael at the junkyard, the all motorcycle junkyard.
Yeah, he goes there to get, and like, is this guy scamming him? Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, sure, English guy. Get one of these bad boys.
Well, and then he has to work on it.
Yeah, he has to put it
a
back
manual.
together. Well, I mean, how much money is he really making from writing essays?
He has $20 maybe, because he only saw him
like
do
a-
4 essays or
right.
something.
So now he has to go to the library probably and like look up how to fix a motorcycle
and
because he
check
doesn't-
out the manual.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any experience with motorcycles.
And he rebuilds it, and he goes to learn to ride in this field all alone.
He's doing all this practice. Frenchy sees him and she's like, "Is this for Stephanie?"
And it almost seems like maybe they were going to do a love connection with Frenchy and Michael a little bit, or
Right.
like Frenchy had a little crush on Michael maybe, or I don't know. It was,
I mean, like, would that not have been fine? Because she was only held back a year,
This
and he
is
was
2 years
already
later.
30. Oh,
This
well,
is 2 years later,
it
so she'd be
seems like-
19 and he'd be 17 probably.
Come on.
ish.
Come on.
And now we're practicing for the talent show. We get
It's
the
at
girl
the
for all
rehearsal.
seasons.
Yes, we get the pep tones.
Sandman. Bring me a dream.
They're like the whiffles.
Yes.
These are my boys.
And that terrible T-Bird song.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that was.
And Miss McGee, this is where I'm saying when she's all, these are my boys.
Yeah.
This is where I'm like, is she been part of all of this? Because she gives them a lot of leeway.
Right. To just
be
run the school.
rule the school.
We get more Michael still working on the bike and riding montage.
Right, a little montage. Is this? Oh, Johnny tells Miss McGee, like, my mom wants you to come over for some paschetti.
Oh, I didn't
That was
catch
the other
that
thing
part.
that when they were like, when she tells him that's enough.
So is that his nephew, her nephew or something? Like, is that his mom's sister?
She's like, okay, so my nephew, like, don't act like we're
Related.
whatever. I mean, he says my mom. Like, I don't know if you put it that. I don't know. It's a weird. Maybe he's making it up. Maybe he's not being for real because she didn't seem like she kind of made a face like, I'm not coming over to your house for dinner.
I'm not doing that.
Paschetti. But yeah, so there's more practice rehearsals. The T-Birds made it. They don't know how they made it, but Eugene comes in here talking about there wasn't enough acts, so everybody made it into the final whatever. So
this is where back at the bowling alley and the rival gang shows up.
Yes, this is where Dolores comes in late and sees Balmudo out there alone. So she calls him scum and then runs inside and tells them.
Tells the T-Birds that
he's
they're
out there by himself. So they go running out, but surprise.
It's Michael.
The whole Cycle Lords.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're out
all
there.
of them are
Yes.
there. And these bitches.
River Bottom Nightmare Gang.
The River Bottom Nightmare
Yes. They are.
Gang. Yeah.
Like they're gonna kill these kids.
Right.
So yeah, and these bitches run back inside because these
they're
guys
scared.
are probably armed. Like they're gonna get a shiv.
So they go lock themselves up inside the bowling alley.
And hear brah, 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 brah.
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy on that motorcycle? What would they say if they knew it was Michael?
And he takes on this rival gang alone.
I know.
I mean, he doesn't have to fight them.
And still, the
He just has
T-Birds
to
are in
ride
there,
his
talking
motorcycle
shit.
really good.
Yeah, and like jump a cop car. Who's that guy? Who's
Ooh.
that guy? I never thought that he could be so cool.
Ooh. Like a cool writer.
Yes.
So yeah, he scares
Yes.
them all off, and Johnny has everyone go back into bowl like nothing happened. But
Of course,
Stephanie's
because
not ready
this bitch
to come
didn't
inside.
do anything.
No,
But she don't want to go inside. So Paulette's like, let's have a ciggy. And she can't get the matches to work. And plink.
cool rider sneaks up with a Zippo.
How about a ride?
Oh, and yep,
But here come the cops.
some of the time.
Some of the time.
Flies over the cop car. So why not just have him fly into the sky
I
at
know.
the end?
I know.
You already
They
practically
were leading
did it.
up to it several times.
Yes.
Like, that would have made more sense to have them fly off
Into the
into the
sky.
sky on a motorcycle than it did in the car.
True.
Whatever.
So Michael meets Frenchy in chemistry, and the pink ladies come in and are laughing. Like, what
Well,
are
he's
they?
going to tell her.
Oh,
He's
tell
gonna like,
Stephanie.
Steph will walk right up to her. Be like, Steph, but then she comes in. She's like, oh, shush. Getting a facial?
And once again, Stephanie in red plaid and not pink.
With a weird bouffant. Like, she looks like Snooki.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God,
in
she
all
went
kinds- she's all over
2000s.
the place. She's all over the place.
And then the air raid siren goes off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is like the drill. Mm-hmm. Is this when they're having the drill? Girls to one side, boys to the other. Run!
Cut to DiMucci taking his lady to Michael's bomb shelter, which there's no setup for this. There's no conversation that he has with Michael where he's like, hey.
Well, he mentions
Can I
it
get
when
your
he
place
picks
for
up
an
his
hour?
homework.
Oh, did he say something?
Oh, like this is the kind of place you could bring a chick. So who knows? Maybe he paid him also extra because he needed some more motorcycle money.
Or Michael has no idea this dude's about to bone in his bed. He
That
just
could
broke
also
in.
be true. Where's he at? He's
I don't
out like
know.
mysteriously
He's out cool
practicing.
riding, man.
He's out cool riding. Duh.
Of course.
How could I be so fucking stupid?
And so Goose and Davy wait outside with the air raid siren while he tries to entice his lady by pretending that role playing they're a soldier and a nurse
for our country, the red, white, and the blue.
Oh, and
That's
she
how you
almost
get in a girl's pants. You
Yes.
appeal to her patriotism.
Of course.
she does not really fall for it.
No,
like there's
well,
a
she
moment
thinks
where
that
she starts
she thinks
to like
they're going to join the military.
right. She's like,
like,
let's go.
Are you sure my mother will approve? Your mother doesn't even have to
know.
know about it.
And so
But then she goes to leave and sees the other two that are listening at the door. And
yes,
I feel like if that's a fallout
Well,
shelter,
they
you
can't
should
hear
be able to
anything.
hear through the door.
the air raid siren, sure, but not a conversation.
No, not like
That
even
was a
his
thick
yelling.
door.
I feel like you shouldn't be able. You just got to sit in there in silence and eat your beans.
Yes, that's all there is to do.
That's all there is to do in there and bone.
So she takes off. He doesn't get laid that night.
Louis DeMucci.
They make it clear at some point that all the T-birds are virgins. I think all the pink ladies except for Paulette might also be virgins.
And they have the nerve to be yelling at the twins, virgin alert, virgin alert.
pretty
Like,
sure they're all virgins.
Pretty sure you're all virgins.
Yeah.
You act like virgins and you can't drive.
So now Stephanie, she works at the gas station
Yeah,
/
the-
auto repair.
Whatever this is, she's like swamped
Oh yeah,
with
it's
all of
customers.
these people. Is this like her dad?
50 cents. I know. I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't
Was that
say.
her dad that chased after her? Is that why she has to like? She lives
Okay.
in Poor Town. She like works at the
Maybe.
garage.
But you'd think she'd have a car
or a motorcycle
or something. God.
She can't afford it.
And here comes Michael in his leather jacket with no shirt.
I know the vest.
Wow, Michael.
Looking like Tom's of Finland.
50 cents of gas, and she doesn't
I
notice
know.
it's him, and then she looks up finally like,
He's like, how about that ride?
oh, she just ditches
She's
work.
like, bye.
Hops on the
What's she
back,
gonna do,
no
get
helmet.
fired?
He
Nope.
doesn't even give her his helmet because that
Nope,
might give
'cause
away his identity.
He can't.
What a
He
dick.
can't give her his helmet. He didn't bring an extra one because he couldn't afford it.
And here's her stunt.
She does
Ooh.
this stunt. They actually hired a stunt person. The person riding the motorcycle, the driver or whatever, that's a stunt person. That's not.
That's why she did it, because you said she didn't like Maxwell Caufield,
Well,
right?
no, she didn't, and he didn't like her. They
There was
didn't
no
get
chemistry.
along infamously. She thought that he was self-loving, self-adoring. And he thought she was a bitch, probably because she thought he was an asshole. So
Probably
she was being a bitch to him.
he
But
didn't-
anyhow,
she didn't want to make out.
so they had the stunt driver and they had a stunt gal that was supposed to do this
Wrap around
straddling
the front.
spin around thing, and she couldn't do it. So Michelle Pfeiffer was like, "I'll give it a shot," and she did.
She's
So
warming up
that's
for
her.
Catwoman.
That's her. Mm-hmm. Looks dangerous though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try it.
No. Not moving.
I'm not a cool rider.
No.
Nope.
So they park at Sunset and they make out with the helmet and goggles still
She
on.
doesn't know his name.
Doesn't know what he looks like.
She could be getting mono.
Right? Where he been?
You don't know
You
where
don't know
he's been.
him?
She's garage trash.
Plus,
It
he
doesn't
never
matter.
shuts his mouth, so you know it's full
There's
of bugs.
in his teeth. She don't care. She wears nothing but sweatshirts. That's how you know, that
Right?
She's low
She's
class.
well, she's at this point because we had some other higher end outfits, but it does devolve as we go into
but
a series of
were they, though?
sweatshirts.
Like, it seems
not
like
higher
it's-
end.
It seems
We
like
had a
the
plaid
poor
shirt.
girl's version of a higher end.
Okay,
outfit.
maybe.
I think the teasing comb was doing a lot of heavy lifting for
Possibly.
Stephanie.
Possibly. So yeah, she's like, I'm shivering. Well, hold on. That's what's making me shiver.
Oh, no, I'm the one that's shivering.
So right, and that's a really studly thing to say.
Seriously.
You're supposed to be cool, bruh.
You're not
That's
cool
not being
writing
cool.
at all. You're being dork writer
He's
right now.
dork rider. He's a dork rider. Yeah,
Dork
come on now.
enough.
If you're
you can
dork
cringe me
enough.
through and through.
If you're dork
Oh,
enough, maybe
no.
I'll touch your dork. So he brings her back to the gas station.
I know she doesn't want to. She's getting all snuggled into that hairless chest.
Yeah, he puts his gloved hand against the window and she like falls into his arms.
Oh my god!
And so he goes like he's gonna take the goggles off. There's
Right,
something
like
I
he's
should
gonna tell her,
you.
but then the T-birds roll up. With
just the
Johnny's got a
T-birds.
nerve,
Right?
Johnny's got a nerve.
You sure do.
He's got Paulette on the back of his bike.
Trying to tell her some whatever
No
her name
girl
is,
of
Stephanie,
mine.
where to be.
Right?
Girl
Come
of
on.
mine.
Excuse me? I don't think so.
I'm not jealous. She's all, stay out of my life. I am. I'll rearrange your face if you see him again, or if she sees him again, her again. And it's like, you just said you would stay out of her life, and then you threaten the dude she's making out with.
Don't make that happen to him. And then Paulette's like, hold up.
At least,
excuse me.
Paulette does stand up for herself.
She does. She's a simping ass fool.
She's like, I am Judy Garland's daughter.
I don't know if you know this, but I am Judy Garland and Sid Luft's child.
And I will not be taking this from your 5'8" ass anymore.
Older sister is Eliza with a Z. You will not treat me this way. You better get straight who belongs to who around here, because I'm starting to get confused, and I don't like to feel confused. And they all
follow Stephanie off. They leave the T-Birds behind.
And what conversation is going on in there, like between Paulette and Stephanie? Because Stephanie doesn't seem to care, but Paulette does.
I mean, that's an awkward. I feel like I've been in a not an exact situation, but I feel like I've been in a situation where a boy liked me and my friend liked him, and he didn't like her back, and it's a very weird because you don't give a shit what they do or whether he's with her, but she gives a shit.
You almost
and she's
feel like it would be pity. Like, oh, you really want him? Like, he doesn't care. Like, it could be you, it could be me,
right? That too. We're like, what do you even see in him? Right? Like, why do you even? Maybe that conversation is what happens.
Screaming knee slide he did at the bowling alley.
Yeah, maybe. So they all follow her. Johnny's like, we could all use a little guaranteed. Whatever that whistle does.
He does that little but I can't do it that way.
And they ask him the secret of success, and he launches into this song about prowling at the grocery store.
Talk like a TV. Yeah, what is it about the grocery store? Talk like a TV.
So what he's insinuating is, if you're a checkout girl at a grocery store, you're horny as fuck.
You're a slut,
and you will fuck a high school boy. Sure. On a Thursday night or whatever the hell, whenever we're supposed to be, I don't know.
Fucking in the
but
middle
nothing
of the
happens.
Week. No,
they don't actually. They just imagine shadows, silhouettes of grocery store girls.
Their talent show bit
rehearsal, right?
That they're doing, and they still have that silhouette. Who are they?
I know. I don't know.
Who are they?
So the next day at school, Stephanie is asked to stay and talk about her essay by the teacher.
Right. Her Shakespearean essay is boo-boo.
And this is now the end of the year. We're talking about graduation activities.
Skip.
I don't know what happened
the
other
announcements are so tomorrow's the talent show.
Cool Writer took all this time to learn the motorcycle, and they took all this time to rehearse the talent show, and absolutely nothing else happened in the school year besides that.
It took a long time to be able to jump a cop car.
And that also means that Paulette's probably been banging Johnny all school year.
Right?
And he's still fucking lusting after Stephanie.
I know.
I'm sorry, you're cut off, Johnny.
That's what I'm saying.
Not happening.
I guess there's rules. It's time to break the rules, babies.
So, Michael offers to help Stephanie rewrite her paper. So she meets up with him at this diner.
Oh my God, and the ketchup.
So she's eating this hamburger with double ketchup.
She really likes the ketchup.
She sure do. Talking with her mouth full. And now I love a little realistic.
Sure,
because you don't see people eat in movies often.
No. And that's okay. But she's like eating like she's never eaten before. And if
so, this is my first time with a, what do you call it? Hamburger.
What is this? Ketchup?
Ketchup. How do you pronounce?
She's not a real person. This is the first time she's ever eaten anything, so she murders that burger.
Yeah. Talking about Hamlet and incest and what a smart guy Michael is.
You must think I'm a real dummy, eh?
Why does she turn into Andrew Dice Clay every once in a while? Just like you. That's why Tessa relates to Stephanie. No, you don't. Not that you said you relate to Stephanie, but that you love this movie.
I do, but that's not why.
And I don't know why I have this note that just says "Stop eating so much ketchup."
Why are you eating so much ketchup? She's gonna eat up all the ketchup in the
diner is gonna run out of ketchup.
They are not gonna have any more ketchup for anybody. And then she orders a burger for
him with double ketchup,
triple ketchup, all the ketchup, drown him in ketchup.
Just put a whole fucking Heinz bottle on there.
She didn't fucking bottoms up the ketchup bottle.
Right? Just take a swig.
Knocked it on the
57.
On the 57.
The secret angle with the 57.
She got the little butter knife up there clinking around Oh my God.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
That's how she's quirky.
Right? That's how she's weird. It's like, what was it, Super Troopers and the maple syrup?
I was just thinking the same thing, chugging the maple syrup. Only that was like a contest or like a dare. That wasn't just for
right. That would
taste.
just be for like fun because
I just
she
love
loves it so
maple
much. I just
syrup.
love ketchup.
So the T-Birds, of course, Catcher's talking to Michael again.
Right. Goose and Johnny are out and about. And
Johnny officially declares,
sure,
they're
like,
over.
well,
And she's
she-
like,
before that, she already rejects Michael yet again.
oh yeah.
And did he not come to this diner on his bike?
I don't know.
He's like leaning up against a motorcycle.
I did not catch that.
watching this shit go down, like right across the parking lot. Did she not see him
I
pull
don't-
up on this bike?
Maybe she sort of did, but because she's not that surprised when it's him at the end. You know what I mean? Like she is, but she isn't.
Man, I don't know. I feel like she was really surprised. I feel like she really didn't know who that was. She's not the brightest gal.
So Johnny breaks up with her officially months
we're-
and months and months
Sure,
after
he's
she broke up with
declaring
him.
them over months and months and months while he's been banging Paulette.
And he's like, that jacket you're wearing is T-Bird property.
You want to leave the party? Drop the jacket at the door.
And now this is where she gets into the driver's seat of this car alone that she's not been allowed in all movie.
No,
but has
she
now the
stole
keys
it.
for.
She stole it.
So she
was sick of
borrowed
it.
the pink lady car to go meet Michael. And Michael, probably rode his motorcycle, but either got there before or after her. So she didn't clock.
But she didn't see him. He was just sitting right over there watching
I
the
don't
fucking
know,
fight.
man.
I don't know. She's all up in her bullshit.
So back in the lunchroom at school,
Yeah.
and the T-Birds are cutting in line, and they push
Oh,
Stephanie
it's-
into Michael, and
He's
he's
like this whole
having his moment.
charade. This is like one of the two cheer up Charlie
2 or
moments
3
in this movie.
Songs that just kind
Where
of
it's
went
like it's
what?
a drag. It's kind of like oh God, what's that fucking hopelessly devoted to you? I like it too, but it kind of like it slows
right
it down in the middle.
It slows it down.
Yeah.
And why is this an elementary school lunchroom with these tiny, colorful chairs?
I know
These are not teenager-sized chairs.
No, these are not teenager-sized chairs.
And
They're
he's drawing
minis.
hearts in his notebook.
And what
I'm
is on
sorry.
his tray? What is that? Is it a big meatball?
I don't know.
Is it Salisbury steak? What is that? It looks
I did not notice.
It looks like a withered fucking pomegranate that he had on
no
there.
idea.
It was weird.
And I'm sorry, if you're still drawing hearts in your notebook, you are not a cool writer.
Not at all.
Just because you ride a motorcycle, you're still Michael.
And like when they're in the lunchroom and Dolores comes through the window and they all meet up and leave and he like does the charade thing again. It could have ended there, but no. It goes on.
And he's alone on the stage.
Yes,
singing,
he's alone in the
Can't
bomb
you
shelter.
feel the
It's
real
alone
me?
on the stage. Yeah. Oh, but can you see the real me? This is not the real you, Michael.
No.
The real you is drawing hearts in your notebook. Mm-hmm. Michael and Stephanie in your little bomb shelter room.
Stephanie Carrington, Mrs. Stephanie Carrington.
Mrs. Stephanie, Mr.
Did you say it was Carrington, right? That's his last name?
Oh yeah, I was thinking Mr. Michael Zanoni.
No. Giving her his
I
last
know.
name.
But I was thinking of him doing it the other day.
And now it's finally talent show night.
Oh, fucking finally. It's the end of the year. Stephanie is dressed like Elvira.
She's
from
out
fucking
there,
Scarface.
right? And she's out there waiting for her cool rider.
He arrives, but the birds go after him.
Oh, they chase him down. The pink ladies pick up Stephanie and they give chase and they're doing
Right.
wheelies through the
Oh,
construction
man.
site.
He like busts through all the fucking blocks up to Dead Man's Curve.
Pew, takes off in the air over a cliff and is dead, I guess.
I guess.
mean,
Well,
it
no,
doesn't
they
even,
let go of. They're like, well, I guess he's probably.
They
dead.
don't even know. They don't see
Anyway,
his body.
We're
They
late
don't
for the
know.
fucking talent show. We got the talent show tonight.
Right? We can't take responsibility for killing a man.
I mean, he went out there.
True, he did.
We
he did
chased
do
him
that.
out there, but like we
They're
didn't
like,
mean
he
for
would
him
have
to
slowed
jump.
up, wouldn't he?
He should have slowed up.
But
Isn't this Rebel Without a Cause and Paula Abdul's Rush video?
a little bit, yeah.
Where they drive off into
yes.
the fucking they Thelma and Louise that shit.
So the T-Birds think he's dead. The pink ladies roll up.
Well,
they
look
think
down
he's
there.
dead.
They're like, he's not even
there.
down there. Like we didn't even see a mangled body. So
Where did he go? Heaven?
he went straight to fucking Winter Steel Heaven.
Yes. And the T-Birds head out. Stephanie's blaming herself, but they got to go
man.
back. They're going to be late for the talent
They
show.
gotta be there because like a whole fucking show. We've been working all goddamn year. We are not missing this fucking show. Sharon has worked very hard.
Yes.
On getting everybody together in rehearsals and costumes because they're amazing. And you better fucking show up, Stephanie.
Even though Johnny can't handle Paulette in her skimpy little summertime outfit.
Right.
You're gonna take that off. And she's like,
I gotta put something on my face. She's like, nah, you don't get to tell me.
Nuh-uh.
Shit, I look good. First of all, I look good. And she's wearing lingerie at the high school.
Right?
I mean, I know I jumped out of a cake wearing saran wrap when I was in high school.
But you had something underneath it, right?
No, I didn't. But it was also not see-through saran wrap. It was purple, so you couldn't see through it. But it was saran wrap. And it was probably about as short as that corset she's wearing. So you know what? It's fine.
You know what?
It's fine.
You know
She looks
what?
great. She looks great.
So yeah, she's all, you know what? You could bully some of the chicks in this school, but this chick has been bullied for the last time. I'm the
Right?
best you're ever gonna
You're
get.
ever gonna
I
get,
am
so
Judy
like it
Garland's
Or
daughter.
leave it. I don't know if you know this.
You are not doing better than me.
No.
So
Actually, what is this now? Two times Judy Garland has come up. Talked about Judy Garland last week. We're talking about Judy Garland.
oh, that's right. That's
if we
right.
mention her next week, she's going to show up.
Oh,
Mama,
God.
Mama.
It's like the new Beetlejuice. Now it's Judy Garland. Oh God! First it was Melissa Etheridge. Now it's Judy Garland.
shit.
Is she gonna come to our window? Like this
Just
weird
out there
Judy
scratching
Melissa.
like Salem's Lot. That
Oh
would
my
be weird.
God! So Paulette pushes him out onto the stage, and the T-Birds
This person
tie
with
up the fucking
lime green fucking tux singing.
And
What
that
is
guy
that?
looks so familiar
He
from
does.
something else, and I could not place him in the credits because he has no name.
Right, like who knows?
It
who
wasn't
that even
familiar
is.
to me, but he's like, oh God, I feel like he was in something with Howie Mandel. Like that's
Oh.
what's clicking to me with that guy. Like
that's possible.
Walk Like a Man.
Oh my God! That
Remember
movie.
Walk Like a Man?
Yes,
I feel like he was
sure
in Walk Like a
fucking
Man.
do.
This
you know
dude.
what? That needs to go on the list.
Right? Because
It
I had
does.
forgotten about it till Liana
I
brought it up, and
saw
I
it
definitely saw Walk Like a Man.
Kind of a lot.
I feel like multiple times.
Multiple
for
times.
sure.
Like I don't know about kind of a
Because it was
lot.
Howie
but
Mandel.
Howie Mandel was a thing.
And he
in
was
my
a dog
life.
man.
He was feral.
Yeah.
Didn't he come from the jungle or something? Like he got lost
He was raised
somewhere?
by dogs, but I don't remember what was the
That's
context.
right. Why was he raised dogs or
I don't
wolves or
know.
something?
I don't know.
What a weird context. What a weird movie.
I don't know. I don't remember anything about it anymore, except
Just
for that
that
he had
Howie
like
Mandel and
fleas
he
and he
walked,
was like
"Walk
scratching
like
behind
a
his
man."
ear.
Yes.
Yeah, and it played that song.
Well, yeah, you had to. Yeah.
So anyway, so they
Anyhow.
get up. We've got all the acts are happening.
Finally, we're doing. It's time for the Calendar Girls, A Girl for All Seasons.
So yeah, we've got some other acts that go on. The T-Birds sing "Prowlin'"
Oh yes, they finally do
in their
thing.
stolen jackets.
Yes, because they kidnap or they tie up the Peptones to get rid of the competition, and they take their blazers. And then Johnny's out there with that microphone
Yes.
choreography.
And now it's time for the and it's I don't know the words to this song.
It's just I'll be yours in springtime. I'll be yours in summer.
And these girls have these elaborate
I know. I
outfits.
love it. They come out in little ballet
And they
shoes.
have the T-Bird boys, the other
Yes,
two,
they got
doing
the-
their in-between season
Was it
things.
Goose or is it Lewis
was
and Davy? It's Davy
Lewis and Davy,
somebody,
I think. Yeah.
And they're dressed up in the whole thing, opening the little doors so the girls can come out three at a time.
Yes.
And it's more than just the pink ladies.
Yeah,
like
it's not just the pink ladies.
some
There's other
girls.
people in
The
there.
girl with the braids, I feel like she was in the first one.
Maybe.
I feel like she was in the first one. Like a background.
Right.
You saw the girl with the glasses and the braids. I feel like she was.
And then it's time for Stephanie to come out in her Christmas tree dress.
Right. They finally get to Christmas and like
She's off thinking about Cool Rider being dead in a ditch.
And this is the cheer up Charlie song. Like I was
Yes.
like I got up and went to the bathroom. I
Where
was like,
Girl
the
of
song
All
is fucking-
Seasons turned into this sad, no more secret
Yes.
rendezvous
Oh my
song.
God. Turn back. Turn back. Like all by herself. Everyone's all confused. And they can hear her.
Again, so this is one of those things where like they do hear her and they give her a standing ovation for ruining the Girl of All Seasons
For All
song.
Seasons. Like, wow, we didn't know it was going to end like that. That
Right?
was wild.
Like,
that
it
was
had
a
nothing to do with
tour de
seasons.
force. The fucking star flew out. It was wild.
And she
went to
imagines
bike
him
her
in heaven. on
See,
his
now this
white
is-
gown.
This is fully Winter still must have taken it from this, right? Because I know that was after this.
Oh yeah. Or that's just the bikers heaven.
Is that just what
dreaming.
biker heaven looks like? I'll get you, Crow.
And they get on his heavenly bike.
Oh man!
But she wakes up and
Stephanie,
she's singing and
You
everyone
have
hears
to keep
her.
our love alive. Like what?
Your love. She didn't even know your name.
She doesn't know who you are.
You made out and you gave her a ride on your motorcycle.
and you gave her herpes, probably
At least some mosquito parts in her
excuse
teeth.
me, English herpes. He gave her a little bit of the old fish and chip.
And somehow the winners of this talent contest are Johnny and
Just
Stephanie.
Johnny and Stephanie, who are now the king and queen.
But
of
they
the
were both in
Mukalakahiwi.
group talents.
But she broke off and did her own thing.
That's true. So
and
only
Johnny
her part
was
one.
the lead singer. Yeah, Girl for All Seasons got fucked because
Wow.
Stephanie had to turn back.
And now it's luau time.
Now it's a wooka laka taka raka raka waka hula raka laka hula.
And Stephanie in her gray sweatshirt, like everyone else is in
She's
party
wearing
gear.
a sweatshirt and a grass.
This is
skirt.
her grief clothes.
Stephanie. I know she's in mourning. This is her morning sweatshirt.
For the Rockahula luau.
She wore a whole black outfit for Cool Rider, but she could not manage a black sweatshirt for being in mourning.
Heather
for Cool
Gray
Rider.
is the best I can do.
That's the best I can do.
And the king and queen take their positions on this
On the floating, it's a
raft that a
Do
bunch
they
of
not
strong
have a
dudes
pool?
carry to the pool.
Do they not have a pool at the
I don't
high
know.
school?
Why are they at someone's
there an
house? Whose
above
house
ground-
is this?
It's an above ground pool at the football field.
At the football field. They were on
Isn't
the
it?
football field?
That's what
didn't
I thought.
didn't clock that, but you could be
Well,
totally
because
right.
they came on the bikes again. I figured they were over there at the
Oh,
football
yeah, I don't
field.
know.
Like it was like a whole thing because it was a big open.
Well, because they ride their bikes through a wooden fence, and a football field
Well, they
doesn't
put
usually have a
up, like,
wooden
the-
fence.
you know, it's like the shit
Oh
you
yeah,
put
it
in
was
your
like they put a
apartment, like the little-
bamboo fence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they were dancing all goddamn day. They danced all fucking day. They were singing the Rockahula song all fucking day.
Until the
It was
Cycle
day,
Lords
and now
show
it's
up.
night. And then fucking the Cycle Lords show up to fuck their shit up. They waited all day.
And there's adults at this party. This
I
isn't just
know.
children. What did you think? No one's
But
going to
only,
call the
like,
cops?
Only like 4 adults because Mr. Stewart and Miss Mason snuck off to go do it in the
Probably.
fucking pool house or in the dugout.
And they run over all the furniture, and then suddenly Cool Rider appears.
Oh shit, there he is in his gayest outfit yet.
And everyone chases him, but except for Stephanie and Johnny because they're stuck on this raft.
It's a 4-foot
Just get
pool.
down and
Just
walk to the
get out.
edge.
She doesn't want to get her sweatshirt wet.
It's going to be so heavy, Tessa.
She will drown. Well,
She's going to be sopping
Johnny
wet.
can't touch the floor. He can't touch the bottom.
Well, she can't have
He'll
the reveal
drown.
of Cool Rider be, I'm in the pool. I'm Johnny trying to get off the raft.
She's trying to keep her head above water and failing.
But she
Yeah,
can't
she's
be
gonna-
sopping wet when she has her kiss with
She's
Cool
gonna
Rider.
be sopping wet when she gets. So what does it matter?
Oh, true. You
When he
could
jumps
disguise
the
it.
fucking pool.
So yeah, so he
I know it'll hide.
he
the big
jumps
wet
their
stain
raft
on her
with his bike.
sweatpants.
And all the bad guys end up in the pool.
Oh yeah, because they can't do it.
And it ends up being
And so did they all get out? Did they manage to get out? Because he jumped over Johnny and Stephanie.
Right.
And then the rest of the guys just drove their fucking motorcycles and like they didn't even try.
That must have been a huge pool because they did not
Did they
touch
move
that
the
raft.
ramp?
I think
know,
there was
like,
no
did
raft in there when they drove those motor. Like,
well, not
'cause-
when they drove the motorcycles in. But that's why I said, did they get out before they were like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck
I don't know.
this.
You don't see them all floating in there. So it's revealed that it's Michael.
Oh, it's Michael. Like all the adults are like, hey, it's Michael.
They reveal their sexy outfits.
Mr. Spears walks right into the fucking pool. He has not recovered.
And then you think Johnny's being a dick, like, oh, he's starting to come up like, but he's confrontational. I got a point to make.
Yeah, I got a point too. Because no one takes his ass seriously.
Jacket,
and he looks at Paulette
T-bird jacket
and
for
says,
Michael.
jacket nicely. So she gives him the jacket.
He gives
Like,
Michael
how's
his
it going to
jacket.
fit him? Whose jacket is that?
Right? What dead child did this come off of? Whose jacket is this?
They had it hanging up in one of the lockers just in
There's like
case.
25 T-bird jackets.
Probably.
Just
They have it in
depending.
various sizes. It's like a men's warehouse.
And he's just immediately everybody's friends.
Yeah,
he's part of the
everything's cool.
gang.
Yep.
Lil Pam Adlon interrupts to say,
She's seeing
I
Davy
got a new
now?
man. And I'm sorry, Davy.
Is she a freshman?
I don't even know.
Is Davy a senior?
He better not be.
Because I feel like she might have been a freshman because she was there on campus to it.
Well, Davy looks all embarrassed to be seen with her. Like,
I know. Like, hey, Paulette,
She's
sorry
too
I've been
young.
fingering your little sister at the bowling
I
alley.
feel like she's a freshman. And he's
Well, yeah.
at least a junior.
Yeah.
But then
I feel
again, in
he's a lower
1961,
rung.
that was
well,
fine.
that was more than fine. We're lucky that she wasn't in middle school,
Right?
because Davy's like real little. He's real little. Leif Green.
So Johnny tells everyone to disperse so
Yes.
Stephanie can admire Michael's new look.
He's putting a leather jacket
Is she
over a leather
disappointed?
vest.
Right?
Uncomfortable.
And she's not disappointed.
Squeaking.
She got 2 for
He
the
was
price of 1.
He was like, I didn't think you'd kiss me like that if you knew who I was. So I was just like, what, never going to tell you?
Right? I was going to hope we got married and had
until,
kids
like-
and then I'd take the helmet and goggles off.
It's Michael.
I now pronounce you Mrs. Cool Writer. Like, what the fuck?
Duh. It's like how the kids were going to get married last week and like they were just never going to tell her folks that their name was really
Oh
Golden.
my God. All right, so I have just like a paragraph of notes. So I went and watched Grease after this. Because,
Okay.
Oh, wait. So first, hold on. Where's my phone? Let's
Okay.
get...
Okay. Well, they do their final leap. They sing
Yes.
We Belong Together. And like, I feel like the end of Grease, it was similar. Was it not like, we'll always be
We
together?
go together.
There you go. Something about being together. So it's like a very similar
Yeah.
ending. It's a little less peppy.
Yes. And I this ending song was not memorable for me. I don't
No,
really
not
remember.
as much as We Go Together.
Yeah. And then it's graduation day, the end.
Yes. Yes. They do a final leap and that's it.
All right, so let's see. I have quick notes on. I went back to watch Grease and I wrote, okay, why is Sandy from Australia and her cousins from England, yet they're both still somehow connected with the one family who lives in the
Right.
Rydell district?
The Rydell district.
It's because of their accents. To Americans, they sound the same.
But I guess so. But then they weren't even going to like try to just say that he was from Australia.
Oh, I have this note, which says nothing about whether this is a better movie. Okay, so in Summer Lovin', does she say, got me so damp? There's a
Yes,
certain lyric where she's
she
like,
does.
got me so damp.
Uh-huh. But
And
I
I'm like,
think she
woo,
means about
Sandra
being in the
D.
ocean.
I'm like, but
they
there's a
do
double
say
entendre.
in Grease Lightning, all the chicks will cream.
That too. I think I have that. So
So-
I've got, all right, Rizzo, 20 extra points. Animated opening, extra points. Lorenzo Lamas as a blonde quarterback. Weird. Not
Yes.
not necessarily extra points.
No, just a thing that you need to note.
I felt like the T-Birds lesser 3 were more entertaining in Grease 1. Like they were like a little Three Stooges.
A little bit, yeah.
They had like not
I liked
Kanicki,
them.
but the
No,
other
'cause he was
3, because
too
there was
cool.
5 T-Birds I think in the first
there was
one.
more.
There was the
T-birds.
blonde kid, and then there was 2
Putsy
brown-haired.
and
I'm pretty sure, but they were very like I don't know. They
Yeah.
just were more.
a little more.
They gave me
animated.
more, I guess. Than
They
the,
were like, I think Goose was the only one that was very like
what's his name? Was it Maguchi? What's his name? No,
Demucci.
Maguchi. I'm thinking of Kate Maguchi.
Maguchi.
Yeah, he was funny too. Some of his
Yeah.
lines, he had
He
some
was
funny
the
lines.
Roman Empire one. I
Yeah,
always
that
thought
was a good
funny.
one. The girls' sleepover scene was iconic. Peer
Yes,
pressure, ear
yes.
piercing, boob exercises. The Sandra O song, or
100%.
Sandra
Sandra
D
Oh.
song. The boys showing up drunk to harass the girls. Rizzo going out with the boys. Blah blah blah. Hopelessly Devoted is sad, but not a waste of time.
No,
Like it's. I feel like it was a good
No,
song
I feel
compared
like it-
to his
compared
weird
to
little charade.
Yeah, and like the other one, yeah. But I feel like it also like it slows it down. Like it's just in
Yeah.
like I feel like that's a good place to take a bathroom break.
But then Grease Lightning.
Yeah,
Come on now.
But I mean, Grease Lightning versus Cool Rider though.
I don't know. Like I said, if Cool Writer was about her wanting to be a cool writer,
I agree, but that was not the option.
I don't
That
know
was
why,
not the
though. Why
option
was it not the
that was not
option?
the option. I feel like they should have.
Idea, and then the dudes changed it. 'cause she had
It's
to
quite
don't
possible.
know.
It's quite possible. Well, no, the director was a woman.
yeah,
A
the
woman
director was a
directed
woman of
it,
Grease
so
too. Yeah,
she could have done it. I mean, I feel like also that you're right that they could have pushed it forward a decade.
right. Like why 2 years? What's
I
the
know,
difference?
that's, like,
2
not
years
enough.
later,
The initial plan, this was going to be called More Grease.
more Grease.
Yeah. And it was gonna
That
be
makes
the
more
next
sense.
decade, and they were going to have a third that was going to be the next decade. And then
See, and that would have worked for
well,
me
that-
better. Do
yeah.
a late 50s, a late 60s, a late 70s, or
Sure.
50s, 70s, 80s, whatever.
Right. Well, that's what, like I was telling you earlier, that there was supposed to be a Grease 3, but it became High School Musical.
Right. That's what you said. They used the script or the idea.
They used the idea or part of it or whatever, and it became High School Musical.
And now, come on, Beauty School Dropout with Frankie Avalon, the angel.
Okay.
And then the Race for Pinks, the finale at the high school carnival. Sandy. Tell me about it, stud.
Okay. I'm saying
You're the one that I want.
Do
Ooh. So I don't know. For me,
Okay,
pound for
all right,
pound
all
on
right.
song volume. So not
Okay.
volume as in how loud it is, but how many
How
songs
loudly I turn it up.
per capita in each film. Like
Per minute?
for me, it's like Cool Writer, Reproduction, and Back to School maybe
Okay.
in Grease 2.
All right.
Whereas in Grease 1, we've got right off the bat with Grease is the Word.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Summer Lovin', which is hilarious. It's terrible. It's problematic. But the meme of Samuel L. Jackson alone. What's the meme with him where it's like, oh God, what's the line when he ends it with motherfucker? Oh my God, I can't even remember
Did she
now.
put
I've
up
seen
a
it so
fight,
many times. Or something like that. And there's a thing that goes around that's like, did you remember that Samuel L. Jackson was in Grease? And it's I can't remember which line they use, but it's him in Summer Lovin'. But yeah, I just feel like there's
Grease 2
more
is
songs.
less date rapey.
True.
It's got that going for it.
Well, wait, who's date rapey in Grease 1?
Well, Danny's going for the
Going for the feel up.
right, but I mean, he like doesn't finish, but he jumps
True.
on her a couple times.
Well, and they're like having their summer romance, and like so, I saw some argument about you don't really see Sandy and Danny's relationship; you just see this summer romance. But like, I feel like the song "Summer Lovin'" totally perfectly encapsulates how
it
a
tells you
teenage
everything that you
straight
need
girl
to
and a
know.
teenage straight boy remembers or is
Of
going to
course.
encapsulate
Right.
their summer love.
There's
which
no
for
way
him
it
it's
would have worked out once they got
she's
back
a
to
fucking
school.
No.
He was so surprised to see it.
Oh, he was not
He was
expecting that
expecting
shit.
to see that shit. Like they did not talk about.
But I feel like it met somewhere in the middle. Like I'm sure she romanticized it to be more than it was, and he downplayed it. But I'm sure he
Sure.
dropped his whole Benny
that
Zuko
whole-
personality because she
he
was
there.
surprised.
Right,
Like,
that she
whoa,
was
who are
also
you?
surprised that he was like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. I don't know. I think I like the weirdness of it.
It is
The thing that I like about Grease 2 more is that it's weird, and I feel like it's a little campier, like because it's so weird.
right.
Like it's not just a straightforward greaser gal movie. It's like there's some angles, and it makes you ask a lot of questions.
All right.
Like who the fuck are these people, and why are they here? Why are they doing that?
So we took a public survey on Twitter.
I know. Who would have thought?
I did a poll. It just says, "Quick, we're recording in 7 hours. Which is a superior film, Grease or Grease 2?" Out of 86 votes, Grease won 80% to 20%.
I'm sure it does.
But let me read some of these comments. So some are definitely, well, we'll just see.
We'll just
Ebony
see.
says, "Whoever put Grease 2 needs to go to therapy.
It was
it's not
me,
a horrible
and I
film,
do.
but superior to 1. Come on." And I said, "Tessa, it's Tessa." And she said, "Ha ha ha, of course it is."
We know I need therapy.
And I said, "I'm over here hurriedly building my case against her." And she said, "Olivia Newton-John, case closed."
Whatever.
So then Cinema Recall says, "Grease 2 is a superior film, and I know Verbal Diorama and Elite Since 85 have my back." And Ebony replies, "It's okay to be wrong, LOL."
You know what?
And Cinema Recall
I'm not
says-
going to fight anybody about this.
When am I ever wrong about anything? And Film Rage says 6 laughing emojis after that. So then we've got, oh my gosh, there's more. Hold on. Nostalgicast says, "I can never get into Grease 2, sorry to say, but it's hilarious how much less sexualized it is than the first one." And I
Okay,
said it
but
actually has
not-
like 3 to 4 songs about sex, but I
All
guess
of
it
the
does
songs
sort of
about
seem
doing
less
it.
sexual. And then Cinema Recall says, "What? Every song in Grease 2 is about sex.
know,
How can
like
you say it's less sexualized?"
It might be a little more tongue in cheek.
Score tonight. Let's do it for our country.
Yeah.
Fucking reproduction is about
Yeah.
sex. Nostalgia Cast said, Less sexualized isn't the same as not sexualized at all. Innuendos abound, sure, but nothing is in your face as sorry as she's a real pussy wagon.
Yeah.
I'd be much more comfortable showing Grease 2 to my kids.
That's also true, I guess. Well, because I never ever caught all that shit about making the chicks cream and about it being
Not
a
as a
pussy
kid.
wagon.
No, not at
And
all.
pussy wagon
No.
isn't necessarily like a... Well, I mean, because you're getting
What
pussy.
else would you call? I mean, I don't know what
Because you're
else you
getting
refer
pussy,
to as a
not
pussy
because
wagon.
you're like in the pussy. I don't know. I don't think that's a... I don't know.
The
Whatever.
podcast nobody asked for said Travolta is great, but he's not a cool writer.
He's not, though.
Okay, now BB Sevilla, who's a patron. First message says, dude, I'll fight a goddamn rhino on this hill with a gif of her doing the ladder choreography. And I said, you will love Tessa's perspective then. And he said, sounds like she's one of those people that science refers to as correct. But then he says, in a reach for me, I mean, if this movie is superior to every movie other than Clue, how are you going to ask if this movie is better than any movie other than if you're talking about Clue? The fuck are we even talking about here?
Okay.
Hashtag who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm
Is it
not
better
even
than
gonna-
every
no.
film but Clue?
No.
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 Casting Views says, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Grease. Haven't seen the second for many, many years, so maybe I'm doing it an injustice, but also the fact I haven't seen it for many, many years speaks volumes. Bone Daddy says, John Travolta automatically makes one superior. Cinema Recall says, your co-host has great taste if she loves Grease too. Film Rage says they are both awful upon rewatching as an
And
adult.
I like those comments most of all. That they're like, no, fuck it,
I
hate
could get
both
down
of them.
with that. That's
I fucking
fine.
hate both of them. That's cool.
Ian Graham just said Greased. So maybe that was the suggested better name for Grease 2 was Greased.
Okay. But then it sounds like someone's going to die.
And one last one from My Weird Record Collection podcast said they're both terrible films, just in different ways. The first in its awful production values, plus that it's clearly in Southern California, yet half the cast speaks with New York accents.
that too.
And the second is plot.
I mean,
straight up
and
plot.
like maybe the thing of it is because I had watched Grease so many times. Because like I told you before, like Grease was my favorite until I
Right.
saw Grease 2. So maybe it's because I had just seen Grease so many times that Grease 2 was such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and because I just never saw it,
I haven't seen it as many times, but I do. I fucking love this movie.
the costumes.
As a kid,
Yeah.
too, I feel like there was more
The costumes for Girl for All Seasons.
Yeah.
I love every single one. If you look, that girl's doing that belly roll on the silver dollar or whatever that is.
Gotta go sing her song.
I know, and then it ruins the whole thing by her singing that fucking song. So I get it.
But once again, we want to. So I'm going to say Grease 2 wins on passion, but it does not win on
votes.
So like the majority of people prefer Grease,
Right.
But the people who prefer Grease 2 will fucking stab
Very
you.
fucking passionate. I'm like I said, I'm not.
So
really
let's
gonna
just say if
fight
somebody says that
anybody.
to you, just go, yeah,
Okay,
totally.
great. I'm glad you
don't
like it.
argue. Don't
'Cause,
argue
I'm
with them.
glad you like Grease. I do. I'm glad about it. I'm
Grease
not
2
gonna, like,
fans
kill
probably
anybody.
all also like Grease, but
Right.
they are just saying
I don't
they
hate
prefer
Grease. I
Grease 2.
prefer Grease 2. I might have burnt myself out on Grease 1, but I prefer Grease 2.
Well, and I also, my kid went through that phase of liking Grease. So, like, I wouldn't have probably electively sat and watched Grease unless it just came on. But because my kid went through a Grease phase,
Well, everybody goes through Grease 2. If you do any kind of
was
fucking
more-
like theater, anything, everybody goes through a Grease
it was
phase.
more in my consciousness. Let's just put
If you
that.
like musicals, you go through a Grease phase.
When, you know what, Grease doomed us to go Sandy. We can't say the
Sandy.
word Sandy without doing it in a pretend John Travolta. But Grease 2 didn't doom me. Did it doom you?
Well, I don't know. I thought like Maxwell Caufield was cute, but then I found out that he's kind of a dick. And then like you could just have like that cool writer. I don't know if it doomed me for anything. It doomed me to think that Michelle Pfeiffer was maybe a time traveler.
Right?
Because
why
she
is
was
she
out
out
of
of
place. She was out of place.
Now,
and
we
I don't know if that's what
We
if that's the
Googled
thing I like
Michelle
about
Pfeiffer
it.
time travel movie to see if there was some weird connection we
that we
could
could,
make,
like,
and I
connect
did not come up with anything. So if you guys know some weird Michelle Pfeiffer
She should
connection
do
to
one.
time travel,
Yeah.
let me know because I want to find a reason.
She was in that ghost movie with Harrison Ford.
Oh,
what
What
was
Lies
that?
Beneath? That's a good movie.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen
That's
that.
a really good movie. It's
With
like
the
wild.
ghost of Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer of Grease too.
So yeah, I don't think we have any messages. We've actually gone kind of long. It's almost an hour and a half.
That's
so.
okay. I really love this movie, so I don't mind.
So now you guys
We did
have
a lot
heard it.
less singing than I thought we would do
Because I don't know the songs. I know. I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna do it by
sorry.
myself.
If we had done Grease, I'd be singing along.
There you
go.
That would take so long.
Fade out singing Cool Rider.
Yeah. Cool Rider.
It's a cool rider.
If he's cool enough, he could burn me through and through. Whoa.
Later.
Later, doomers.